Hey y'all, it's Chelsea Snyder and this is Moving Baton Rouge. So today we're going to be talking about Mardi Gras. I'm going to give y'all a list of the parades in Baton Rouge, when they are, and I'm also going to give you some tips and tricks. I've lived in Louisiana my whole life and I enjoy Mardi Gras season to the fullest every single year. So the actual date of Mardi Gras Day changes every single year based on when Easter is. So Mardi Gras Day is going to be 47 days before Easter. This year it happens to fall on February 13th. So most of the parades in Baton Rouge are going to be before that February 13th, but that's when Fat Tuesday is. So we have a good bit of parades in Baton Rouge this year. First on the list is going to be the Crew of Ocean that lands on Saturday, January 20th this year. And then one of my all-time favorites is going to be on Sunday, January 28th. It's the Crew of Mutts. If you have a dog, please bring them. If you want a dog, let's say you're moving in from out of state, I'll help you find a house with a big old backyard, okay? All the dogs that are walking in the parade are adoptable. The shelters bring them in and you can adopt them there. Y'all, it's a perfect time. I'm just saying, they need homes. They need homes. And then another solid one is going to be the Crew of Artemis. It's Friday, February 2nd. Y'all, it's a pretty big parade downtown. It's really, really fun though. So on the following day, Saturday, February 3rd, we're going to have two parades. So the first one's going to be the Crew of Mystique from 2 to 5 p.m. The next one's going to be the Crew of Orion. This one's going to be 6:30 to 9. So the day after that, Sunday, February 4th, we're going to have the Mid-City Parade. If you couldn't have guessed just by the name, that one is in Mid-City. I love that area. I love this parade. It's definitely one of my favorites of the year. I'll skip ahead to Friday, February 9th. That one's gonna be the Crew of South Downs. The next parade is maybe one of the most famous or infamous parades that Baton Rouge has. It's gonna be Saturday, February 10th, and it's Spanish Town. Okay, if you have kids, and most of the parades in Baton Rouge are kid-friendly parades. This one, you may not want to bring your kids to. It's a little raunchy, it's a little, you know, out there. Personally, I would not be bringing my kids to this one if they're, you know, maybe under the age of 13. I just wouldn't do it. I'd stay clear. This parade is really, really fun, but it's geared towards adults. There's a lot of suggestive language and then some things that are just not left to the imagination. If you get my drift, I don't want to get this taken down, you know? So the next parade is the Crew of Shenandoah. It's the day before Mardi Gras Day on Monday, February 12th. This one is an extremely family-friendly parade. So bring the kiddos to this one, don't bring them to the last one. So this parade is a little bit smaller. It's not as close to downtown as the other parades are, so it really is the perfect one for kids. So I'm gonna put a link in the description of the list of parades. That way you have the exact times and then the parade routes. Moving on to Mardi Gras tips. Tip number 1 is gonna be get there early. The roads start shutting down, parking spots fill up, and then to get a good spot, you really do have to be there early. Tip number 2 is gonna be bring a bag, or even better, if you could bring a wagon, one of those like collapsible wagons, that is going to save your back. It's gonna save your neck so much. You just won't have all that weight on you. Y'all, these beads are heavy. They're extremely heavy and you don't want it on you. I promise the wagon is the best bet. But if you don't have one or you can't bring one, a bag will work just fine. Number 3 is gonna be travel light with your belongings. You do not wanna lose anything important while you're out there, okay? Especially if you lose it in the street, the likelihood that you're gonna find it again, slim to none. They have these big trucks that come and they sweep the street to get all the extra beads that may have broken on the ground. If it's something important that you lost, it's gonna get sucked up, okay? It's gone, you could forget it. So tip number 4 is gonna be bring lawn chairs. Bring enough chairs for everybody in your group to sit down. If you get out there early, you're gonna want a place to comfortably sit. You could sit on the ground, probably not the cleanest thing, number 1, but it's not gonna be comfortable if you get out there a couple hours early. Just trust me, trust me. And also, bring an ice chest. You're gonna want stuff to drink, and the people that are walking by, if they're selling drinks in carts walking by, they're ridiculously expensive. So tip number 5 is gonna be more geared towards when the parade actually starts. Y'all, when it starts, you have got to pay attention. If you are not paying attention at the people that are throwing beads, some people don't throw just single beads. They'll throw big old plastic bags full of beads. If one of those hits you anywhere, it's painful. If it hits you in the head, like, you might need to go to the urgent care and be checked for a concussion. It hurts so bad. Tip number 6, if you're coming in from out of state and you've gone to other Mardi Gras parades, let's say Mississippi, Alabama, you need to be mentally prepared for Louisiana Mardi Gras parades. Reason being, people are crazy over here. A good kind of crazy, okay? We have a fun time, but people are crazy. A lot of people are gonna be drinking, and some people don't hold their alcohol well. So take that into consideration. Also, it's very crowded, so if you've gone to smaller parades before, you need to be prepared that people are gonna be bumping into you. They don't mean any wrong by it, there's just not a lot of room to move around at some of these big parades. And lastly, on being mentally prepared, it's very loud. So not only do the parade floats have speakers on them, they're blasting music, the people in individual groups will have music going. Sometimes it's almost like, I don't know if you've ever been to like a big tailgate. It's almost like that, but they'll set up on corners, like empty corners, and it's all their friends and family and extended this, that, and the third. It's a lot of people and they're blasting music, okay? So be prepared for that. If you have little ones, make sure maybe even bring some of those earmuffs for them. That would be a great idea. So another thing to be aware of, if you don't love the big crowded parades, they do have some smaller ones that are just in the Baton Rouge suburbs. So that one's kind of like the Crew of Shenandoah. That's really good. It's small, it's family friendly, but they have other ones like in Central, Denham Springs. It's all around. So you're not just stuck with those big Baton Rouge parades. So on the other end of that spectrum, if you love the big parades, some people may feel like they have to go to New Orleans to have that full Mardi Gras experience. Let me tell you, that is not the case, okay? Especially if you're coming in from out of state, like I said, maybe use Baton Rouge as a stepping stone before you go to New Orleans Mardi Gras next year. Mardi Gras in New Orleans is just very chaotic. There's so many people. And then with that, if the people on the floats are throwing constantly, because there's so many people, you're not gonna catch a whole lot, and that's a lot of the fun of it. All right, y'all, that's all I have for today. And as always, if you're looking to buy or sell a house in Louisiana, I'm your girl. I'll get you taken care of. I'll put my contact information in the description. I'll put a link, that way I'm just a tap away. Make it pretty easy. And if you have any questions about Mardi Gras, feel free to drop them in the comments and I'll answer them for you. All right, bye y'all, till next time.